Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today we're going to be looking at a event review for Block Wars Rookies 4. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've done an event review, but maybe that's just because there hasn't really been an event to review recently. So this is the one, I guess. Block Wars again. I think the last one probably was Block Wars 16, if I had to guess. Anyways, Rookies 4 happened on the 26th of April, which was yesterday as of recording this, and it was a good event. It was a good event overall. Heads up, of course, spoiler warning, I'm going to talk about performance, who won, etc., how everything went, blah, blah, blah. You get what I mean. Standard process, I think you already understand how you know, Rookies is handled roughly. Or, sorry, how event reviews were handled roughly. Either way, here we go into the results. Who won? 3, 2, 1, warning. All right, here we go. Boom. This team ended up winning. It was the red team, which makes sense. I mean, this was one of the ones that people expected to be one of the stronger ones for this roster. Because if you didn't know, this Rookies, I set a goal to invite no S tiers, and technically that was true, though, like, debatably, 5UP and me could be sometimes in the debate for S tier, but definitively by how we value S tiers, they are both 5UP and I are not, so that's why we get to play in this one. But, you know, 5UP was one of the stronger players in this event, plus Gumi also being pretty well experienced, plus Abe actually plays a decent amount of Minecraft, and Janet also had played a Block Wars before, and Steve, who I won't refer to by the in-game name, but Steve was also apparently pretty good. I didn't really expect Steve to be decent at Minecraft, but he knows what he's doing. So hey, good job, red team. Well-deserved win, of course. And that also means that yes, there is a streak in Rookies now where the red team keeps winning. They can't stop winning. It's just red wins every single time, which it's not on purpose. I can guarantee you that it's not on purpose. We just happen to put a cool team on red, and the cool team just keeps winning. So there you go. Anyways, I don't know. That's just how it goes. Next up, though, another fun stat that I think is interesting to look at, especially for Rookies, is the top frag stats for every single team, or more so, yeah, every single top frag across the board. Unsurprisingly, really, I had the biggest percentage of total team score, obtained in the event. That kind of makes sense. I kind of expected that to happen. But Fur actually coming in, because I think, yeah, Fur got 6th overall, but his team got last. Pretty impressive performance from Fur there. And I think this is an exact replica or showcase of exactly how impressive certain performances could potentially be. I think Fur should be, looked at as a very impressive performance this time around, because as much as it is Rookies, getting that much percentage of your team score when your team is in last shows that you did play really well, just didn't have a very strong team overall. And I think that is very much something that deserves some attention. Same with Sneaker as well. Sneak getting 31% of his total team score as a top frag. Very impressive, of course. And then Zam actually coming in 4th, then 5UP, then SK, and then Sleepy, and then Ruben. So yeah, very cool, interesting stats to look at. I think it's fun. Yeah, I guess I'll mention balancing here as well, just because we are looking at performance stuff as well here. Balancing in Rookies is extremely difficult because, just like a regular event, there's a lot of things to factor in for who works well together, who wants to play together, who can be invited, who has the biggest room for improvement, etc., right? How are people going to adapt to the new versions or the updated versions of games, etc., like, whatever, right? A lot of things to consider. Overall, I'm not upset at the balancing. As much as it wasn't perfect, it was alright. Yes, there were 2 standout teams that did the best, but that's also because of the game order, because the last 2 games were PvP, and to be fair, I think the 2 teams that ended up getting top 2 were some of the better ones for PvP, so that makes sense overall, I think. Regardless, they still were doing well throughout the event, but you get what I mean. We'll look at the actual stats in a bit as well. The one thing I have noticed is that in Rookies, the one format of team that consistently doesn't perform the best in Rookies is that, like, top frag plus weaker player type of combination. It's been kind of, a thing across Rookies. We've seen it plenty of times, and it has yet to win. I don't even know if it's made the finals before, because I don't remember who was oh no, technically it did with the Sandwich Lord team in Rookies 3, but that one wasn't even really that much of like a top frag with weak player team, because there were several players on that team that had pop-off potential. We just didn't really know that yet, so that doesn't even work. But that's kind of an example, I guess, of what should have been that type of team. So we've learned yet again, this will be a thing that gets factored in for the next rookies. So maybe next time, an actual, not S tier, but, you know, top frag plus whatever type of balancing will actually make the finale, because it keeps getting in like the bottom half portion of the roster consistently, which it happens. Either way, continuing forward to the actual performance here. This is the end of board. The website's not updated yet because it's not fully working. 5 up in the beginning first, which is obviously very, very impressive performance. SK actually taking second, which was a surprise performance, really. I think Pink Team just locked in. They were doing great for this event. I got third, which I roughly expected to happen, and then the rest of the board somewhat makes sense. I think Boger and Anthos getting top 2 or top 10 rather, was very cool, of course. For the rest, I think the list and the range of performances is relatively expected, accounting for like Steve and Flats getting a boost from their teams doing well, etc., and then moving on downwards, of course. So pretty cool. And then we go into the actual games, I guess, just as a little review. I'm just gonna pull up the tab here. Tomb Tines, the difficulty was slightly decreased. My team did pretty good at it. I think we got like top 3. I like Tomb Titans. I understand why some people don't. I think in rookies it works really well because it's pretty tame. It's like a type of game that you can pretty easily latch onto in terms of how to play the game. Yes, there are some, you know, confusing moments potentially that can happen in Tomb, but it's generally pretty simple as long as you explain to your team what's going on. Which is why my team, I think, did decently well, because, you know, we had the advice of stick together, break the pots, just hit my funny bone, ow. And yeah, so I like it. It was a fun game. Definitely a nice one to start off with, I think. It's a nice intro game. Next up, Trailblazers. Trailblazers, I think, in rookies can work. I think it's a game that has the potential to work. I think so far it's been okay in rookies. I don't think it's been bad. I just think it's been okay because, admittedly, it is a bit of a complex game. Giving people the freedom to choose whatever, choose your own adventure, essentially, right, is what it is, but with movement challenges. There's no proper directioning besides gold courses or gold whatever. But even that is kind of confusing because in order to get to the gold courses, you have to either be in the hub or leave your current course and then go to the hub and then find the thing. Like, there's a lot of things to factor in. I don't really know exactly how you would improve that. We might look into that for the future, but I don't know. It's just a game it's good, but it's hard to make really easy to understand across the board. I ended up dominating Trailblazers, even though I thought I was doing pretty mid. But that's just kind of how I think every Trailblazers has gone for me. I never really felt like I was putting up a really impressive performance, and then I just take it. I guess I can't stop winning. And specifically Trailblazers. Either way, because I think last Trailblazers I played was also pretty good. I don't remember, man. Either way, yeah, Trailblazers is good. I mean, I would rate it like a 6 or like a 5 out of 10 for rookie specifically, because I think it works, but it's not good for rookies. It's just like, yeah, it works. So like a 6. I think Tomb is like an 8 or a 9 for rookies. I think it's pretty good. And then we go to Race. Race, I think, is kind of a similar thing. This maybe Race map specifically was kind of an example of like what is wrong with Race. In order for Race to stand out as a game in general, right, and in order for it to be like a custom-esque experience, you need some custom movement like jump pads, launch pads, etc. Different types of movement challenges that can just be a short section, not stuff you can just put in Trailblazers. Because, for example, I mean, you technically could add like a swimming section to Trailblazers, which would be pretty interesting. But like, you're probably not going to do that because swimming is just like hold forward essentially, or at least that's how you would probably perceive swimming as a section. But I should probably write that down. It's kind of an interesting idea. However, I think in Race you have swimming, you have elytra, you have tridents, you have jump pads, launch pads, you have parkour, you have moving around, you have different routes, you have this and that and that. I think it works. Similar to Trailblazers, it works, but it doesn't work that good. I do think it's slightly better than Trailblazers because you at least have a proper sense of direction to go off of. The only thing that I think kind of sucks is just, like mentioned, there are certain movement challenges that may just kind of be a little too niche that you wouldn't really know because maybe some of the people that play in Block Wars rookies and maybe just Block Wars in general don't really play Minecraft or only played Minecraft before some of these things were even a thing. So yeah. It happens, but I think it has its place. Maybe just a specific map needs to go in rookies, though. I kind of don't like using the Canyon Run and the what's it called, the space one. I forgot the Kerbal. I think those maps are just a little dated, so I'd rather not have them used. But maybe for rookies specifically, that's the best thing to do. Next up though is Overspleef. Overspleef, always fun. I think it's really goofy little game, and I think it's nice for rookies. I think it's fun. I kind of frauded out. Yes, I got 10th, but trust me, I should have gotten like top 3. I just did really stinky in this game because I ended up dying like first in one of the rounds essentially, which was a bit of a fumble. Regardless, Overspleef, cool game. I do think it's a game that could definitely be helped by getting another new round type, but I think it's in a decent state. I think it's fun. It's just a good, on average, fun game. I guess if I want to continue the ratings, yeah, Race, I'd give like a 7 out of 10. I think it works, but it may be slight quirks that need to be figured out. Spleef, I'd give also like a 7 out of 10. I think it's fun. It's a funny little game. Worked pretty nicely. I think it was goofy. It's a fun little player interaction game. I thought it was cool. Then next up, Blitz Hunt, 10 out of 10 game, best game of all time. I also frauded out in this one, but this time it wasn't really my fault. Notice how none of the green team is pretty high up. I wonder why. I wonder if the entire green team was on my ass every single round. Dude, maybe it's because I'm a bright red blob in game and I'm just the easiest to spot, but I can already guarantee you it was like Sleepy who came up with this stupid idea to just be like, let's go and stick to Wolfeei. He's the best player in the lobby. He knows where to go. And then, yeah, that caused me to die most of the rounds, which was pretty unfortunate. So, yeah, it was an okay one. I think I did all right in hunting as well. I got like 4 kills. No generational 14 or 12 kill like last time, but regardless, it was fun. It's a good game. I like Blitz Hunt. It's fun. It's goofy, and yeah, I mean it's just a mainstay, especially for rookies. It's just like such a good game to have. Next up, Party. Also a game that I think is, I'd say this specific rendition of Party, I would rate like an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect. I think there are games in Party that are good, but selectively good. I think what I would have maybe wanted to see changed this time around was maybe instead of like, because it was Beep Test, Splat, Go Down, and Crossfire. I think Crossfire, good. I like. Go Down, good. I like. Beep Test, it's like fine. I don't think it's like perfect for rookies. I think it could. It's probably better off not being in rookies, but like it can work. It's fine. And then Splat's same thing. Like it can work, but maybe not perfect for rookies. I think ideally, you would probably want some new party games to maybe sub in for those examples that or the ones I just mentioned. Because I think with like a Photon, yes, would be good, but the problem is if you have Photon in party here, then Extraction right after, and then the finale is also a bow game, that's just gonna feel like a lot of bow PvP, like back to back to back essentially, which I think was like, that would not be like the best, I think. So Photon for that reason wasn't in, and then you have Heist, which I think because of it just having had a new map and there was some some feedback on the directioning not being great, I think it's fair for Photon or for Heist to not be in because people would probably get lost a little bit. So yeah, I think this was fine. I think this is an overall good roster. Yeah, like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. I think is a good way to rate it up somewhat, because I don't think either Splat or Beep Test were bad fits in party. I just think they were like pretty alright. I think Crossfire 10 out of 10. That game's awesome. And I think Go Down was really fun too. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that too. Extraction, This one was kind of the only game that had a proper like gameplay change, which was the crossbow. Last time we had the auto-reload crossbow, which was just the photon one, right? However, this time we decided to maybe try to make it customized and try to make it more like actual crossbows, but it didn't work out super well. I don't think it was bad. I think some people were overreacting about how, like, quote-unquote bad the thing was. I think it's, like, it can work. It just needs some slight changes, and maybe this wasn't the best time to try it out. Because I think people already kind of got lost, or this is already an event where people kind of have to figure out how things work, and then having also a thing that nobody's tried before is kind of hard to deal with. But I think it worked out okay. It's definitely, like, I understand why some people didn't like it, of course, because it's very different the way it worked. Because the way it worked was you have to right click, and then it'll start charging, and then you get like slowed down a little bit while it's charging to, you know, imitate what it's like when you actually charge a crossbow. And then you had to, free movement right after. I think the way you'd probably change that is to just make the reload time a little bit faster, because it felt like it was a bit long maybe, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just misremembered how long it actually takes in actual extraction. But yeah, I think that one I would rate, extraction this time I would rate like a 7 out of 10. Usually I think extraction is like a 9 or like a 10. I think extraction this time around was good, but like to some maybe that was pretty bad, and to some maybe it was like cool, but it was all right. And then Lunge, I really enjoyed Lunge. I think Lunge is a really fun game. I think Lunge generally is awesome, and I'd rate it like a 9 out of 10. Not yet like a 10 is kind of hard to give to Lunge because of its past versions. I think the current version's like a 9. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Hidden scores were nice. You know, you kind of just play the game and cross your fingers that it works out. And yeah, overall, just a silly little game. You just swing your sword, shoot your bow, and just, you know, be a little silly goofy. Especially when you're a team that's not doing too hot and you don't really care too much about how well you do in the event. We were just kind of goofing around, and it was awesome. I kind of loved it. It was fun. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the games. My team was awesome as well. I had not gotten a chance to team with any of my teammates before. I was supposed to team with Aggie and Parky last time, but didn't last time because of other things. But this round worked out well, and yeah, it was a fun team. W team. Would love to run it back with some of them at some point, and yeah, that's that. But that is not the final thing. Also, Reds absolutely swept the finale. I think Pink had some issues with adjusting to how the game worked. I think Boker maybe ran into a bug, so that's just super unlucky, of course, but it happens. Regardless, one more thing to talk about, unrelated to Blockwars Rookies, but there's a new spin-off event coming soon, Block Wars Brawl, May 24th. More info tomorrow. I'll make a whole video talking about this, because there's going to be some info that comes out publicly as well, but I will make a video as well to explain everything. So yeah, stay tuned for the news regarding that. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.